Whiteman Air Force Base, Missouri, July 14th, 2025. 0100 hours. The hangar doors slide open, revealing the most expensive aircraft in history. The B-2 Spirit, tail number 821066, sits like a black alien artifact. Major James Viper Cross climbs the ladder. He knows this is not a training drill. The White House has just received confirmation. Iran is 48 hours away from mating a nuclear warhead to a ballistic missile. Diplomacy has failed. The president orders the zero option. If Cross fails to destroy the facility, the Middle East erupts into a nuclear exchange by sunrise. The mission profile is a grueling 30-hour round trip, known as the Global Power Flight. It is divided into 3 critical phases. Phase 1 is the transatlantic injection. Phase 2 is the ghost run through the world's densest air defense network. Phase 3 is the kinetic event, the drop itself. Cross straps into the ejection seat. The cockpit is cramped, filled with analog dials mixed with digital screens. He initiates the engine start sequence. 4 General Electric F-118 engines whine to life, buried deep within the fuselage to hide their heat signature. The beast is awake. He taxis to the runway. The B-2 has a wingspan of 172 feet, yet on radar, it appears no larger than a bumblebee. Cross pushes the throttles forward. The bomber lifts into the dark Missouri sky, carrying 2 30,000-pound GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators in its belly. 6 hours in. Over the Atlantic Ocean. The first challenge is not enemy fire, but logistics. The B-2 is thirsty. A KC-46 tanker appears in the gloom ahead. Aerial refueling is always dangerous, but doing it in radio silence, at night, with a heavy payload is a mathematical nightmare. Cross aligns the bomber with the tanker's boom. Turbulence from a storm system below buffets the aircraft. The connection must be perfect. If the boom scrapes the B-2's special radar-absorbent coating, the stealth integrity is compromised. A scratch the size of a coin could make him visible to Iranian radar. He feathers the throttle, matching the tanker's speed exactly. The boom locks in. Fuel flows. Thousands of pounds of jet fuel transfer in minutes. Cross watches the gauges intensely. One disconnect, one spark, and the mission ends in a fireball over the ocean. The boom retracts. They are full. This logistical chain is the unseen backbone of American air power. While the B-2 gets the glory, it cannot function without this delicate dance in the sky. The bomber is designed for global reach, meaning it can strike any target on Earth from Missouri, provided the tankers show up. The storm below intensifies, masking their approach into the Mediterranean. The B-2 flies smoothly, its flying wing design riding the air currents. Cross checks his systems. The stealth mode switch is engaged. Antennas retract, and the aircraft becomes a seamless, smooth surface. They are now entering the danger zone. As they cross into the Middle East, a warning light flashes, a hydraulic pressure variance in the left bay door. It is minor, but at 40,000 feet over hostile territory, nothing is minor. Cross cycles the system. The light holds steady. They have to press on with the fault. They approach the Iranian border. This is the transition to Phase 2. The airspace ahead is protected by the S-400 Triumph missile system, capable of tracking targets hundreds of miles away. Cross breathes slowly. To the radar operators below, the sky is empty. The ghost run begins now. The tension in the cockpit is suffocating. Cross and his co-pilot speak only in brief, clipped codes. There is no room for error. They are effectively flying inside a digital enemy brain, trying to remain a thought it cannot process. The world below assumes it is a peaceful night. They penetrate the outer ring of air defenses. The radar warning receiver, RWR, remains silent. The B-2's geometry deflects radar waves away from the source, scattering them into the atmosphere. They are flying at 45,000 feet, a black void against the stars. The temperature outside is minus 60 degrees. The target is the Fordow fuel enrichment plant. It is not just a building. It is a fortress buried inside a mountain. Intelligence states the uranium centrifuges are located 300 feet underground, protected by layers of reinforced concrete and granite. Regular bombs would just scratch the paint. That is why they carry the MOPs. The GBU-57 is 20 feet long and weighs as much as a school bus. It is designed to punch through 60 feet of concrete before exploding. It is the only conventional weapon on Earth capable of reaching the target. Suddenly, the RWR chirps. A low-frequency search radar in the Zagros Mountains has picked up an anomaly. It isn't a lock, but it's a sniff. The radar waves are resonating against the B-2's fuselage. Cross banks the aircraft gently to the right, altering the reflection angle. The chirp stops. Silence returns. It was a close call. Low-frequency radars can detect the presence of a stealth aircraft, but cannot guide a missile to it. The Iranian operators are likely staring at static, wondering if it was a ghost or a glitch. Cross sweats in his flight suit. They align with the final approach vector. The navigation computer calculates the release point. Wind speed, air density, and Earth rotation are all factored in. The bomb bay doors must open for less than 5 seconds. Any longer, and the open cavity makes them visible to every radar in the country.
Target acquired, the co-pilot whispers. The mountain looms below, visible only on the synthetic aperture radar. The facility is asleep, unaware that 30 tons of high explosives are hovering directly overhead. The hydraulic fault light flickers again. Cross ignores it. It is time. Doors open. The belly of the B-2 yawns wide. The radar signature spikes instantly. Alarms erupt on the ground in Fordow. The Iranian air defense batteries wake up, searching for the intruder. They have seconds to fire before the sky falls. The plane lurches upward violently. 2 GBU-57s drop from the internal racks. Gravity takes them. The bomb bay doors snap shut, restoring the stealth profile. The B-2 vanishes from the screens just as the missiles on the ground begin to track. Cross pushes the throttle to maximum military power, banking hard to escape the blast zone. The bombs fall for 40 seconds. They are laser-guided, correcting their fins to hit a specific ventilation shaft identified by CIA engineers. They are not just falling. They are accelerating, turning into kinetic penetrators, moving at supersonic speeds. The mountain is about to receive a sledgehammer blow. Impact. The first bomb hits the mountain. It does not explode immediately. It burrows. The hardened steel casing punches through rock, then concrete, then rock again. The delay fuse counts down milliseconds. It reaches the centrifuge hall, deep underground.
Detonation. The mountain hiccups. From the surface, it looks like a localized earthquake. Dust plumes erupt from the ventilation shafts. Underground, the blast pressure liquefies the centrifuges. The shockwave collapses the tunnels, burying the nuclear program under millions of tons of rock. In the cockpit, the sensors register the seismic event. Good effect on target, Krauss confirms. The mission clock hits the extraction phase. Flak bursts appear in the distance, searching blindly for them. The B-2 slips away into the night, a shadow leaving the graveyard. The flight home is long and silent. They refuel twice more over the ocean. When they land at Whiteman, the sun is setting on the next day. The tires screech on the runway. The ground crew waits, but there is no celebration. The gravity of the act settles in. Satellite imagery confirms Fordow has collapsed. The Iranian government claims the seismic event, hiding the embarrassment of the strike. The nuclear threat is delayed by a decade. Krauss writes his report, debriefs, and goes home to his family. He cannot tell them what he did. The operation cost $2 billion in logistics and ordnance. It prevented a war that would have cost trillions. The B-2 Spirit remains the only aircraft capable of such a feat, flying halfway around the world to knock on a door that cannot be opened and blowing it off its hinges. The B-2 is a paradox of the modern age. It is a beautiful, terrifying wing designed to kill, yet its primary mission is to ensure fear keeps the peace. As the hangar doors close over the bomber, the world continues to turn, unaware of how close it came to the edge.